Have you ever felt, just completely lost in a sea of spiritual paths? They all promise enlightenment, but sometimes they just lead to more confusion. Well, what if there was one single key, a hidden treasure right inside your own mind that could unlock every single door? Today, we're digging into exactly that. It's the profound concept of bodhicitta, the enlightened mind, and we're using the ancient wisdom of the Zongjing Lu as our guide. So let's go find this master key together. Here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at why so many of us get stuck on our spiritual journey. Then, we're going to unveil the master key, this principle of the one mind. After that, we'll dive into some really beautiful metaphors to understand what it's all about, see how this incredible power actually shows up in our daily lives, and finally, we'll get to the most empowering idea of all, that the end of the journey is kinda hidden in the very first step. Okay, so let's start with a feeling I think we can all relate to, being totally and completely overwhelmed, right? There are thousands of practices, countless books, endless teachings out there. I mean, where do you even begin? The Zongjing Lu doesn't pull any punches. This quote basically says that if we don't get the fundamental nature of our own mind, then everything else we do, no matter how sincere we are, just risks leading us deeper and deeper into a maze of confusion. Just think about it for a second. The sheer amount of information out there can actually become the roadblock itself. Instead of finding clarity, we just keep hitting walls. We end up collecting all these different techniques, but we miss the one essential thing that ties them all together. And this is where the text offers this really elegant solution. See, it's not about learning more stuff. It's about understanding one thing, but understanding it really, really deeply. This one mind is presented as the master key, the secret that can open every single door you come across. So what is this one mind? Let's jump into our next section and see how it's defined, not just as some abstract idea, but as the very fabric of reality itself. So, at its core, the principle of one mind is this. Everything we experience, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the absolutely terrifying, it all starts in and is a projection of our mind. Now, that doesn't mean the world isn't real. It just means our experience of it is built from the inside out. There's this incredible story from the text that makes this principle crystal clear. So picture this, a man who lived a life without any kindness or good deeds. He dies, and he finds himself being led straight to the gates of hell. It's a pretty helpless situation, right? But right at the last moment, just as he's about to go in, this compassionate being, a bodhisattva, shows up, and he teaches the man just one single verse. And the core of it is simple. Everything is made by the mind. And this is just brilliant. It shows the power we're talking about. The moment the man recites this verse, and really, truly gets what it means, the entire reality of hell just shatters. And not just for him, but for everyone there who hears his voice. The insight itself becomes the key to freedom. This enlightened mind, this bodhicitta, is such a massive concept that one simple definition just can't capture it. So the text gives us this whole cascade of stunning metaphors to help us get a feel for its different qualities. Let's walk through a few of them. First up, it's compared to a fertile field. Think of it as the inner ground, where all of our best qualities, things like compassion, wisdom, patience, can just naturally sprout and grow. It's also described as being like the pure sun. You know how the sun rises and just effortlessly gets rid of the darkness? Well, this mind works the same way. It illuminates the true nature of everything, and it just burns away the fog of our own ignorance and confusion. Oh, and this metaphor is really powerful. Bodhicitta is compared to a diamond. And what does that mean? It means its nature is pure, it's unchanging, and it's totally indestructible. It has the power to cut right through any illusion, no matter how solid or real it seems to us. Next, it's like a great ocean. Imagine every single river of virtue, every good deed we ever do, all flowing into it. This mind has this infinite capacity to hold all of that goodness without ever overflowing. And finally, it's seen as a wish-fulfilling jewel. This is a symbol for its potential to satisfy all of our deepest spiritual needs, to end that feeling of spiritual poverty, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Okay, these metaphors are beautiful, right? But they can also feel a little, abstract. So here's the crucial question. How does this all-powerful mind actually show up in our day-to-day lives? I mean, this is the question that bridges the gap, isn't it? Can we actually find this incredible power in the middle of our ordinary, sometimes messy, but wonderful lives? And the text says, absolutely yes, we can. This quote is just so important. It completely pushes back against the idea that your spiritual life and your daily grind are two separate things. It's saying that engaging with the world, running your business, making a living, can be a direct expression of this deep, true reality. And to make this even more real, the text shares these incredible stories of connection. There's Kei Shun, who feels his mother's anxiety as a literal sharp pain in his own heart, even though he's miles away. And then there's Pei Jinyi, who is suddenly overcome with this crippling grief at the exact moment his father is killed somewhere else entirely. Now, whether you read these as literal history or as powerful parables, the point is the same. They are meant to completely shatter our idea that we're just isolated individuals walking around. They point to a much bigger reality, where the mind isn't just locked up inside our skulls, but is part of this vast, interconnected web of being. And that brings us to our final section. And honestly, the most powerful takeaway from this whole exploration: what is the ultimate potential of realizing this one mind? This is just, wow. The enlightened mind isn't some prize you win at the end of a long, hard journey. The text argues that the very instant you genuinely, sincerely aspire to awaken for the benefit of everyone, that moment is the goal. It's like the seed already contains the entire tree. So we end right where we started with this profound verse. But it's not just a philosophical statement, is it? It's really an invitation. It's an invitation to look at our world, our lives, at our own consciousness, not as some fixed, solid thing, but as a dynamic, luminous creation of mind. I mean, what might change if we truly saw things that way?